Welcome back. Welcome back. First time round, we did Monday PCA Universe review. The first time was so nice, we had to do it twice with Kaya. And then the second time round was even better. So we've got to do it a third time with Danny. So here we are, third podcast in a row. This time round, we have got big man Danny, who, in my opinion, it was between obviously him and Kyle when it came to who won the overall of the universe. And we're going to get his side of things. I've known Danny for a while. I saw him at Destination up in Stoke because I know he travels from Stoke to London quite a lot.
Yeah.
So I spoke to him there, and he actually trains like an absolute madman. What heck has him doing in terms of like quite in terms of volume, mate, what he does, and we'll go through that as well. I'm seeing this guy doing like
Yeah.
drop sets on a massive T-bar. He's strong as well, mate.
Oh, bro,
Ridiculous.
he's strong as fuck. Yeah.
Mate, I'm doing the same with like 10 plates of sound on the Arsenal hack.
Yeah.
Like it's mental. And then he's doing like drop sets and stuff. So in terms of what he's doing, we'll go through. He won PCA London, didn't he? He won the overall there two
Yeah.
years ago. And then he wanted to come back, make some improvements, and do exactly what he's done now. That was the goal. I remember saying to him, he goes, I want to be a PCA pro. And that's exactly what he's done, which is fantastic. So we're going to get him on. But, mate, how are you?
Good, bro. Good. I'm very, very excited for this one. I mean, I remember meeting Danny at King's Croydon back in 2019, maybe something like that, 2020. Um, Fucking sick, bro. And to see like he was big back then, but like now it's ridiculous. And wait, he moved up to Stoke or around that area um quite a while back. So when he left Croydon, he would come back and forth every now and again, like a couple of weekends or something. And I remember seeing
Yeah.
him then after maybe like a year or two, and I was like, "Fuck, bro!" Like,
Mate, he
so
honestly, though, I don't think he looks big. He looks big on pictures,
yeah,
but I genuinely don't think pictures do him justice. The
no.
guy is massive.
He gets peeled because I did that PCA London show 2 years ago that he won.
Yeah, and he
I
gets
remember seeing
big.
him, and I was like, we were doing the tanning the night before together at the same time, and we were stood next to each other like at the fans like drying. I was like, bro, you are fucking peeled.
Yeah, mate. But anyway, he's here. We're going to go through. He did apologise because his laptop's over in Stoke, so he's got his headphones in. So hopefully the audio's all good. But anyway, it's going to be in now.
Big.
Boarding in progress.
Here it
Here it
is.
is. Oi, how's my sound quality, guys? Because obviously I'm on
Um,
the old iPhone rather than laptop. Is it all right?
yeah, that's good,
It's
man.
all good, mate. He's got the PC. He's got the PCA quarter zip on already.
I've just come from the gym, mate. I'm a bit like yourself. I was running late anyway, so
Oh,
you've done me
mate,
a favour.
I'm
Rep.
glad. Well. How are you, mate? How are you getting on?
Yeah, good as gold, mate. Good as gold. I'm still on cloud nine, obviously, as you can imagine. 2 days back in training, new training program, reversing out. So yeah, happy days, mate. Happy days.
Love that. We were just speaking, mate, because I've obviously seen you when we at Destination, when I saw you there. And I remember it was about a year after I saw you at PCA Stafford, where I think there was a weekend after the PCA London show, the weekend before the PCA London show, where you won the overall.
I think it might
And
have even been the day before, mate. You know that? I think
yeah,
that was back to back. Yeah.
so that was that. I saw you there, and I was thinking, Jesus Christ, this dude, genuinely. And then I saw you, and I was there, like, I swear I know this guy. And then we started speaking, and I thought, I know exactly who it is. And then you were there, like, what's your plans now? And I was like, I was competing, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
Sam. We got onto your goals, and you were like, yeah, man, I just want to become like a PCA pro, and then all this sort of stuff. And then next thing you know, mate, here we are, sat what a year later, 2 years later from I first saw you,
Yeah.
PCA pro. How does it feel?
It feels surreal, mate. The funny thing is at the beginning of prep, Heck was like, "Yeah, you're going to be PCA Pro this year." And I looked at him, and you know when you're just like, "Yeah, all right, mate, you're chatting shit," kind of thing. Because I had so many setbacks in the last year, mate. It's been an absolute joke. Like I've literally pushed up weight and then had a setback, lost everything. Pushed back up weight again. Then I had surgery, obviously, on my stomach, lost everything again. So it was like, you know, it's just so bloody frustrating that you hit your target weight and you're looking good, and then you get all these obstacles in the way. So we finally managed to bump back up to the target weight we wanted to with the body composition that we wanted to bring into prep. And honestly, best prep I've ever had because it hasn't felt like prep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've been seeing. Was it 260 your weight, or was it even more than that?
We got to like 130, I think it was off season. So it was a
Yeah,
big old, but I was like round in the face. I couldn't move.
yeah. Because I remember seeing you post some pictures on in destination. I was thinking this guy's mad. And then the reason why I know that preps went smoothly is because every time I think it was like quite a short, not a short prep, but was it like 12-week 40 something like 40?
Yeah, it was like 12 weeks,
Yeah.
literally.
And I just saw you post every single time that every 2-3 weeks just kept getting better and sharper. And I was thinking, he doesn't even look like he's died. Like Joe something he's like you just had like looked like you had like a bit of life in you, mate. Every single time you appealed, you could just say like,
I
yeah,
always had energy.
yeah, it
I
looked
said as
like it though.
well, Tom, I said like the heck, I said this is like the best prep I've had in regards to strength. Like I actually feel like I've made strength gains during this prep that I wouldn't have made in off season because obviously the cardiovascular system and recovery time and everything's at a better rate. But I was strong. I actually felt guilty at times for not suffering as much as I thought I should be suffering. So Heck was like, don't worry about fasted cardio, just do it at the end of your session. All these things that I used to do. Half of me, I felt like I was like being a lazy, like dick, basically, thinking, oh, am I giving people the edge? But it wasn't the case. You know what I mean? It was actually providing me a better base to bounce
Yeah,
off
for
of.
sure. For sure. Was that because you reckon you've got like just so much more tissue compared to last time? Because mate, you
Yeah.
have significantly improved. Like, how many did you know that your stage weight of where you were at PCA London compared to PCA Universe in the 2 years?
We're about 3 kg up,
But you look
but
about 10, 15 pounds heavier.
do
That's
you
the
want to
thing.
know the funny fact is, mate, what is quite scary? My weight on Sunday for the universe in the morning was literally 100 kg, bang on.
Oh my lord.
So obviously, we ripped a bit more water off from the Saturday show, but I couldn't believe it because I'd done the NABA the week before, and I think it was about 103.5. So we
Yeah.
dropped quite a bit, but the illusion, mate, it was quite terrifying to be honest with
That's
you.
the thing. I thought you would have I thought what it looked like was you came down a little bit, but then you look sharp. Like obviously you came down, but you look fuller. So I thought you weighed a little bit more. That's the thing. You looked like double the size compared to Nabba.
Yeah,
Obviously, you were a
that's
little
the
bit
magic tricks, though,
faster.
isn't it? The
That's the
last
thing.
little tweak that you can play with your water manipulation and stuff like that.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
I was messaging you and I was there like, "Are you doing a show this weekend?" And you were like, "Nah, I don't know whether you're doing it or not." Heck,
Well, I
and I
said,
was
didn't
like,
I? I don't know if I can bother to shave my arse or not. That was the
Then you ended up
that,
going to Nabba. You won the overall there, and then how did you manage that time between Nabba and then obviously qualifying and then doing the Saturday Sunday at the PCA? How did you sort of
so
manage that?
right. Nav is a funny story. So Heck wanted me just basically to go there for a bit of posing practice, and Heck won it last year. And he said they drill you. He said you'll be on stage for ages just posing. So we done that. There was no peak for that show. It was a normal day in the world of prep. So the day before that is a Sunday show. Saturday we would smash legs at a factory gym in Whittam.
Mm-hmm.
And then the actual Sunday was the first day of my fat load for the Saturday the next week for the universe qualifier. So I had no carbs going in on that Saturday. And honestly, I felt like so out of place because everyone's loading up on rice cakes and jam, honey, sweets are going in, and I'm just like backstage, like monged out, going, give me some carbs. You know what I mean?
There you are eating your dark chocolate and whey or something, or
Yeah, and getting
yeah, peanut
harder
butter.
like, all the time.
God, man. And then you won that show, and I would say pretty comfortably, mate, from what I saw anyway. Obviously, there's a few good guys
Yeah,
there, but I think it's a big discrepancy in terms of good and probably where you were at that time, if you know what I mean. So
yeah.
that's
I
not.
mean, there was a couple of good lads. Don't get me wrong,
Hmm.
but it was nowhere near the amount of competitors that you'd see at a PCA show or
Oh
that
yeah,
stuff. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's what I
So,
saw. And then when I saw that, I was thinking he's just going to get himself even. And then I know you mentioned that he didn't peak for it, and I was thinking, well, he's peaking for obviously the Saturday, Sunday.
yeah.
Then Saturday looked like an apps. I think was it the butcher posted something, and then you posted something about the is it Lee Butcher or whatever we called him the butcher on the podcast, but
Yeah.
he ended up coming third, and I was like, I didn't think I actually mentioned it on the podcast when we did the review, but I saw him post something, and then you posted something as well on your story.
Yeah, I mean, he's a top. To be honest with you, he's a top lad. He's proper nice guy, like backstage and everything. Fair play to him. I think he tried to create a bit of noise.
Mm-hmm.
Connor probably knows I used to be so outspoken in this industry. I've really pulled back recently. I was too outspoken, and I was gonna buy it, and then I just I can't remember what I put up. Tom, was it? I think it was something.
I don't know. I think you just posted it, and
I reposted it. Yeah, I just reposted it.
I think reposted it. But I don't know. It reminded me of just something subtle, like this guy's just putting this up, but it made it aware. Then that brought it to the surface that this guy was like shooting for you and trying to get something, and you were just like, "Nah, it's all right."
Nah, I'm not having it. I would have bit a few years ago, that's for sure. But do you know what? I was so focused on myself. That universe, you had so many big names that was saying they were going to do it, and you had big names turn up. To be honest with you, you had a lot of super heavies. I mean, the overall lineup on that Sunday, I think everyone was an overall champion of some kind.
Yeah, it was. I thought that afterwards there was.
So I classes because it's the average height, isn't it? In PCA, it's always filled. So I felt like both days absolutely smashed it to bits with the biggest range of quality.
Mm-hmm.
Hardest classes by far.
No, I agree. I think PCA medium class bodybuilding, it's always going to be the biggest guys in terms of proportions, and it's always going to be the most stacked class, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And that brings me on to my next question.
Go on.
In the overall, obviously, what in terms of the result, I said obviously in terms of what they were looking for with Kyrie yourself.
Yeah.
In terms of what I would have gone for, I would have probably gone for. I happily gone for you, in my opinion, just in terms of muscularity.
Do you know what? There's a lot of controversy. A lot of people said on the Saturday show it should have been mine. I think if you're looking at it from a bodybuilding point of view, condition, I was more conditioned, size. Kai's, his flow is ridiculous.
Oh, mate, his structure,
absolutely.
Yeah. Oh,
he's going to be 212 in that top 3 Mr. Olympia lineup in the next 3-4 years. The way he's growing, you know what I mean? He's like Derek Lunsford's love child. I think Derek Lunsford might be his dad.
Mate, I don't know. Have you seen the progress that he made within prepping the 7 weeks? He put on 7 kilos and looked like he dropped about 17 kilos.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
In terms of like overall, obviously structure is what he brought was so far probably what people thought that he was going to bring, and it's just like sort of like I think it was that wow factor in terms of like wow, this is what he was before. Then we saw him now. It's like bloody hell. So, but with you, I think you turned up exactly in terms of the same conditions. You always peeled, but just bigger and better.
Yeah.
But I was there like it was a toss up in terms of probably what they were looking for on the day.
Yeah, I mean, day one. I'm not going to lie. I came off that stage and I was fuming. It took me a good 15 minutes to like process it. But then when you actually do the maths, I mean, he's got great physique. Marketing wise, he's an animal because he's got the look, he's got everything going for him. You've got the followers. If I was Ryan at PCA or something, I'd be going, yeah, that's my poster boy. You know what I mean? So I can totally understand now that I've stepped back. Day 2 overall, obviously I came in better, but he came in harder as well. I think he came in at least 10% better than he did on day 2 than he did day 1.
Oh yeah, well he was talking about that he could actually peak for the second day in terms of like loading him a little bit more heavier, and then he just kept getting better. He'd feed him more, getting harder, getting drier, and he was just in a position where he just kept getting better and better and better. So
there was a point I was in the stage when he was out with the juniors. And he was right on the edge of the junior lineup. So he was nowhere near middle because obviously number order and all that. And you know, normally you wouldn't be drawn by eye to the people on the end. He just had that appeal, mate. Honestly, you knew who was going to win that class before even a pose was hit. So, yeah, fair play to him. You know what I mean? Great champion. And the potential is, I said this to him at the show. I said, your potential's endless. You can go as far as you want to go. You know what I mean? There's not many of us with them 5% genetics that could break into that 5% in the world.
No, He's ridiculously good for all things considered. I think, like Tommy was saying, like his comeback from what the PCA judges last saw of him to now, I think that would have also twisted their opinion. Not opinion, but
For
like
sure,
they would
for
have
sure,
been
mate.
his progress from the last time they saw him would have been like more impressive. So I think
Mhm.
that could sort of play a factor in their sort of thoughts.
Mate, if Danny's saying obviously it just had this sort of like aura about him, and he walked out, and then he was like, okay, well, he probably won. But then again, obviously, like I said, it was a toss up. It was good to have a good toss up between like, oh, who's it going to be, Danny or Kaya? And it was quite, and like I said, whatever way it went, you knew that if you won, it would have been like, well, fair enough. Then he won, fair enough as
Yeah.
well. But the fact that you can be sort of like sit back and be like quite rational about it and go, yeah, well, this is what he brought, and looking at
Yeah,
things.
you've got to analyze, haven't you? I mean, we're all emotional people, especially on stage. But when you actually step back and then analyze stuff, you can understand why some decisions are made. I think that comes with experience, though, as well.
Yeah, for sure, mate, for sure. Like, how
I
long have you
mean,
been in this game now?
at least 9 years now, mate, competitively,
No,
on and off.
yeah.
I
And would you
normally come in for a couple of years and I'm back out for a couple of years, but this is the most consistent I've been now.
would you say this is like the peak? Can you see yourself? Obviously, I know you can get better, but would you say this is like the peak in terms of how you felt, in terms of like obviously what you've achieved, etc.
I feel like things are coming easy now. So the muscles comes on easy.
Mm-hmm.
The whole process is easy. There's no struggle.
Yeah,
That just it's just an experience day to day. Like, do you know when you do your first preps and that, and everything's like drama and you're stressed because you're running around and you can't balance work, family, and the rest of it. It all kind of slots into one now, which is nice, and it does come. I honestly believe after a few shows, you figure out the system that works for you.
oh yeah, for sure. And then especially when you do even your first few seasons, everything's sort of new. You find out what works well for you. But you're at that position where you've been coached by Heck for what numerous years.
Yeah, a couple of years now.
Yeah, he's prepped you what twice now, but he's probably taken you
How many
through.
shows? No, we've done quite a few shows. We've done about
Yeah,
four, 5 shows now. So,
yeah.
but in fairness, Heck got me back into bodybuilding. He pulled me back in.
Mm-hmm.
I only ever signed up with Heck to give myself some structure. And then he went within a week. Went, now we're doing shows again, Dan, you're coming back. But my biggest regret is just before lockdown, obviously I used to train at King's. Connor was there as well, class of Kings back then.
Yeah, yeah.
I wanted to train with Nath as a training partner in like 2018, 19. And it just never materialized because of that COVID time. And I do think like if I would have had that opportunity then, where would I be now? You know what I mean?
Mm.
But
No, I
yeah,
get you. I get you because he, him, and you are so strong. I don't think I've ever seen somebody as strong as you, genuinely, in the gym. Like, I remember you putting like what 9, 10 plates on the Arsenal hack
yeah, yeah.
nation, and I'm thinking, and you were like saying like "fuck the reverse band."
Yeah, take it off. Moaning about the people that put it on and don't take it off because it takes
Oh mate, it was
half an
funny.
hour and you're
But
pinging
then
yourself.
but I know you were talking about your training with Heck in terms of like the volume that he does. I know that you enjoy that sort of stuff, but would you say that's helped over the past few years with Heck in the terms like building that muscle probably more than what you've done on previous?
Massively, massively. The thing is, I was a massive fan of volume. Like I used to go in the gym and just love training. So I would do set after set. And with Heck, everything is structured, everything's recorded. I mean, I hate him sometimes because I love training legs, as you know, mate. And even during that prep, we had like 3 working sets of quads. And I've got my
Yeah.
new program. I've got my new program through, and I've got like 1 working set of like leg extensions. So, so I do hate him for that, but obviously it's working. And you know what it's like, guys, as well. When you got that 1 set, it's do or die, isn't it? So you know
Mate,
it's worth that set.
it's true. It is true, mate. Like, I'm in the position now because I'm dieting. They've said like, yeah, just do 1 set, and I'm thinking, oh, it's like just. But yeah, it's true. But
I think as well, Tom, in regards to that strength, that era of I call it Croydon muscle. So Kings had opened, and you just had so many bodybuilders training under the same roof.
mm,
And it was a period of time, I honestly believe the best bodybuilders in the UK were coming from South London.
Yeah.
We just trained different. Sadly, it's died now, as Connor will probably tell you. I mean, none of us are even in London for a start. We've all
Yeah.
evaporated out, but it's just not the same.
I remember when I first went to Kings, it was sort of like just after that era that you're talking about, but it was still like James and Louis were training.
Yeah.
You were in there. There was loads of boys, but like
Connor in there,
yeah,
Nave. It was
exactly,
mad,
everyone.
man.
But then it kind of everyone kind of spread out a little bit, and then it's all just faded. Like Kings now is just
It's
not,
bad.
yeah, not the
It's not
same.
the same. We won't talk bad, but yeah, it's not the same gym as it used to be.
No,
So
not
It's
at all.
crazy because I've been there once, obviously I don't really know, but then when you probably see a gym that had and did have so much potential and had that potential there, and then now it's on like I don't know, is it on the obviously it's not the same as what it was previously. It's
you
probably
used
hard.
to, yeah, you used to drive up to it and you'd hear it before you see it.
Yeah, see that's and then it's probably just like an aura about it, and then you go in there, you try like people that are just like probably better than you in terms
Yeah,
of like if you want to strive to be better and better and better, and then you probably seeing Connor seeing people like you, and then you're seeing people like Heck, and then Heck seeing people like
yeah, it's a
James.
knock-on effect.
Yeah, so it's and then you see it now, and you're just thinking everyone's sort of spread out a little bit, doing their own little thing. So imagine if like you all were still like in that community, what would happen right now? So
It'd be
it's
unreal, mate.
interesting.
It would be unreal.
It's interesting. But I remember you wanted to bring up your top line with is that still the because it's come on massively, mate. We looked at we reviewed your
Top
physique.
line and my spaghetti arms was the two things that I wanted to bring up. So
Mm-hmm,
I think arms are definitely up, shoulders are up, top line is up.
mm-hmm,
PCA said they want a little bit more. The problem I have is, you know, when you get bone dry,
mm-hmm,
my chest just absolutely splits to bits.
mm.
And it can be full, but in some poses, it's just absolutely shredded like a cheese string, basically. So that visually, you either love it or you hate it.
Yeah,
So like the Naba show, I came in a lot fuller, obviously, and it looks a lot thicker. So it depends what look I want to bring. But yeah, we all have weaker areas. But at the same time, I find if I go flat in the chest or flat in the arms, you know I'm fading out. So it's time to get some carbs in.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. There's like you're very lower dominant in terms of that's why you got one working set of quads. So
Yeah.
how has Hex structured your training in terms of the off season? Were you trained? The reason why I'm saying this, mate, is because I had a weak. I still have a weak chest, but for people that are to get into training and stuff, how have you found the best way to improve your weaker areas, and what are you doing now, and what are you doing back then?
The programming basically was there's a lot more volume on the weaker areas.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot more intensifiers as well. So we was training them to death, basically, muscle rounds,
He
rest
loves
pull.
that muscle round, so
Oh,
well,
he
that's
loves
what
it, really.
he loves the muscle
He
round.
loves the
I remember
muscle
seeing
round.
Andy doing like 7,
The
8
other,
team muscle round, thinking, oh
yeah,
my god.
the other massive, massive thing that made a change was the gyms, moving up to Stoke, having Destination, Old School, Strength Asylum, Apex, all within a 12-minute drive. Like, and they're all top class, especially Destination and Old School.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, both the owners couldn't do enough for me. So when you got people supporting you like that, and they're fighting against each other to provide a better facility every week, so new kits coming into each gym, it's mad. Like you actually want to be there and train.
Yeah,
yeah,
because I live. That's obviously I met you at Destination.
Yeah.
But 3 years ago, mate, there was none of that. It was literally
No.
Foundry, and then next thing you know, you're seeing Destination, and then you're seeing Old School gyms getting all the prime stuff. Then you're seeing Destination getting more prime stuff, and Apex getting their stuff, and then
Yeah.
it's all these. And I'm thinking, you go from literally having literally nothing to having like, well, where to go? You can probably pick certain places for like, I want to do chest here, then I want to do back here, then legs here, and all that. It's like sort of overwhelming to the point where you're thinking,
Yeah. It is overwhelming.
a gym like 20 minutes down the road, not even that, which is full of prime. The owners are great as well,
Yeah.
which is nice. But so more volume, obviously frequency as well. And then is that going to be the same sort of structure heading into this off season now?
So I've only got the off-season plan probably about an hour ago, mate. So I've skimmed through it. It's a 6-day split. Obviously split into an A and a B.
Mm-hmm.
Push, pull, legs predominantly. But there's rather than the leg section, there's more arms. So we are working on them weaker areas. I've never done what we're doing now, which is we're having a 6-week rebound.
Mm-hmm.
So I've kept everything pretty strict. Don't get me wrong, I've had a McDonald's on the way back from Hull because that's all there fucking was on the way back, which wasn't my first choice of cheat meal. But I was kind of focused to get back on it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm not really craving anything. So we're slowly going to reverse the food. If we're talking about anabolics and stuff, this is going to be the biggest blast I've ever run.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really looking forward to seeing how that plays out.
Yeah.
You're in a position where obviously you come off the back of the high where stress is low, as well as obviously our stress is pretty high in terms of just coming off the back of the prep, but like in terms of overall external stress, there is none. And then
Yeah.
you're going to be in a position where food's going to get nice and high. Obviously, anabolics going to get nice and high as well. Your training's going to be nice and novel as well in terms of doing different things. So, mate, you're going to absolutely explode. So I'm guessing there's probably like arm work at the start of legs, and then is there a little bit of
Yeah,
that?
pretty much, mate. Pretty much.
Yeah, you'll enjoy that. You'll enjoy that. I prefer it to go sometimes because you can get a little bit more out
In
of
the
it.
old split, I had a hammy bicep split, and it is quite nice because you basically have that little 5 minute break in between, reset yourself, and it feels like you're just going into a new session
Yeah.
once you get used to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing. You got to get used to it because you're going in like legs, and then you go, "Oh no, I've
Yeah.
got bis and tris at the start."
And I've always gone into leg day like I'm going into war, basically. Like I want to beat the numbers from the previous week,
Mhm.
and I want to be able to not walk by the end of the session. It's just old Metro Flex. That's why I started training mentality. That's how they used to train.
Well,
To
I
the
think that's personally missing a little bit too. But and that's one of the conversations that we first had because I think we saw some kids. I think it was like some worrying about this. I don't think it was a pull down or something. And I'm thinking,
yeah,
just looking at them, I'm thinking, oh my
just
lord,
lift some fucking weight. You know
I've
what I
been there.
mean?
I've
Like
been there though. I've been
pull
there.
it.
Oh, but yeah, you were like, oh, these kids, man.
Yeah, and they
But I
just
do.
take up so much room, and you're like, it does make me wonder, though. And you guys probably get the same thing. How the fuck does it take people 20, 25, 30 minutes to do 3 sets? Like, I just can't work it out for that love or death. And like, you're looking at them and you're thinking, I'm on and off within like 10 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, what
But
is
they
going on?
because there's all this information out there saying you got to wait as long as you need to wait, and then people are there like, "Am I ready? Am I not ready?" Then they
Yeah.
sort of overthink everything. You get people who, well, I have clients that I happily have clients now, mate, and they're literally on the hack, and they're sending me about a minute beforehand when they're trying to get ready for the set. And I'm like, is it broken? Literally, I
Yeah,
was thinking
yeah,
on my
like,
phone.
do it.
I don't know if you get that kind of way. You just think you like some people say like they're actually going to start their set
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
and they go, okay,
It's
yeah, they're starting the set a minute and 30 in. I'm thinking, what are you
yeah.
thinking of in that time?
It's
Yeah.
the thing that you just said about them knowing if like or thinking if they're ready to go into another set and they'll check their
Yes.
fucking aura ring or whatever that tells them if they're ready
Yeah,
or
heart
Oh,
rate's down now. Had a little bit of a swig of a drink, and I'm all good. And then next
yeah.
thing you know, yeah, okay, now I'm going to do this. I did this for 8, and then I might get this for 10. Then they get anxious of picking a weight. Oh, I don't know what to do.
it's just
Put a
so
weight on.
scientific, though. But the
Put a
information
weight
out
on.
there now, mate, the information, I can't argue. I wish when I begun, we had that kind of information, but it's just too much of it, isn't there?
Yeah, I think people use it. You can use it so much to your advantage, but people use it to their disadvantage. Where it's like, oh no, I'm pretty fatigued now. I'm pretty tired, so I'm going to wait a little bit. And then it's like, yeah, you're going to be feeling like that. But in terms of, it's just not overcomplicated. Like I said, I've been there, and I'm a real big fan of training and making sure you're getting the most out of it. But sometimes I just think, just get on with it. Just literally get on with it.
Yeah.
Just do what you can. Because like me and Connor, we train together, and we're there like what an hour and a half within a whole
Yeah.
session. And we're just going, yeah, we'll do that. This, cool, sound, 3 plates, whatever, four, whatever. And then some people are there like going, don't know what to do. And looking at the logbook. And I'm thinking,
Yeah. It's the logbook warriors as well. I mean, just put
it's
it in.
true.
And
It's
there's a
true.
place for a logbook, but I always wonder, like, how bad is your memory not to be able to remember the session before, or even do it after you get out the gym? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I've
I couldn't
become,
think of anything worse.
yeah.
I fucking hate pen and paper of writing something down in the middle of the gym. I'd probably start doodling, drawing a pair of pits or something on the side. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be like, what am I doing? My mindset would shift.
What I've started doing is logging my compound list, but more like isolation work. I just go, okay, well, I did 50 last week and whatnot, and then I just
Yeah.
keep going until I fall out of a rep range, and then I just do what I feel's best on the given day.
Yeah,
Before,
yeah.
I happily admit, mate, I was there like, I still want to make sure it's progressing, but before I was like, bicep curl, preacher curl
Yeah.
12. They're like, shall I do this? And I'm just thinking, now I just go in there, I do 3 sets, I do what feels good. And then I found that I progressed more, logging my heavy compound lifts, I do what I need to do in terms of isolation work. I work in different rep ranges, train to failure. That's all I need to do.
I tell you what, though, argument against how good are some of the junior bodybuilders that are coming through at the moment? Like,
Ridiculous.
ridiculous. So something's definitely going right. There's definitely
But,
education
but
out
you'll
there.
but you'll find though, mate, like a lot of them are in a position where they've learned from what we've learned, like where
Yeah.
they've both been in a position where like been sort of anal with things. But you talk to a lot of juniors and they'll go, yeah, we just literally lift as heavy as possible and then just track this and that. So you've learned from the mistake, but I think it's always good to go through that sort of anal period about your training, and then you'll learn what's sort of best of you. Like you've sort of done, like you know
Yeah.
what works well for you. That's why you've responded really well. I've worked what works best for me.
Yeah.
Comments,
Yeah.
but I think you have to go through that period where you have to be a little bit sort of like methodical, and then be like, I probably don't need to do that anymore, and then you can just
Yeah.
priority into different areas. But like you said, mate, you just get in there, get the job done, and then get out again, mate. That's
And
literally
I
it.
mean, I love destination, but I've done most of my prep out of old schools sheerly because of that social aspect. At destination, everyone wants to chat because I mean, it is a good community environment. And I was like, I want to get kind of dark and nasty and in that dark place and swear at myself, you know what I mean? Like, and go for it. And old schools allowed me to do that because it was a little bit less busier at times, the times I was training. And it reminds me so much of that original Kings. Like, it's
I
loud.
was going to say that. You look at it from
Mate.
the outside, it's like a bricked out
Yeah.
building. But you go to destination, it's like a lovely leisure centre. You walk
Oh,
in,
it's mad, isn't it?
bright lights. With old school gym, it's like black and gold,
Yeah.
and it's all dark. And then you can get it's different levels to it, and like, you can get in the corner and do what you want. But with destination, it's all bright lights, and you've
Yeah.
got grannies putting the prime stuff on, and all the
Yeah.
play. Oh, and I'm thinking,
And you always think like, oh, like, do I smell like good enough to be in here? You know what I mean? But
and then you go to the toilet, and it's like I don't know. It's like sometimes not too clean, but say like I
Oh,
feel
it
like
is.
I'm in a leisure centre. Honestly, mate, you walk out and you're there like, oh, loads of
yeah.
prime, the best gym. And then
And
you
the
just feel
worst
like
thing is that the lighting in the changing rooms is so good in destination. Like you walk past and you just want to get naked and have a pose. Like, and you're like, oh fuck me, I'm like midway through set, but I look so good. But they're both top gyms. I mean, they're
oh, mate,
predominantly the
for
top gyms I
for
train
sure, mate,
out of.
for sure, mate.
So
I think we're very lucky to have like what's it, like 10 minutes apart, not even that.
yeah, and then even like you go a little bit further. I mean, like you're Stafford, aren't you?
Hmm.
Stafford.
Yeah.
You've got train with intent. And then what we've got 50 minutes now to Ultraflex Derby.
Oh, mate, yeah. And then you got B modified at Derby as well. And then you've
Yeah,
got,
crazy.
mate. So within like an hour's proximity, mate. Before we had no Ultraflex around here, and we're like, oh, it's all up north. Next thing you know, we've got an Ultraflex within like
Yeah.
45 minutes. We've got 2 gyms or 3, 4 gyms around the Stoke area, which are absolutely incredible, stacked with Prime, official partners of Prime. It's like,
Yeah.
I said, it's a bit overwhelming at some points, but it just goes to show,
Someone
mate.
needs
Like,
to open a gym in South London. It's got to happen because there's literally nothing now. Like, and the traffic's so bad. So I'm Dulwich way when I'm at my mum's or down south visiting. It can take me 40 minutes to get to Kings, and I'm just like, what am I doing? So, Body Heat's another amazing gym in Caterham. That's where James was training and Heck trains out of before James obviously opened the shed. But that's a members only gym, but that's proper. They call it the dungeon.
Yeah.
But the kit is sick in there. Like
You'll go to Metro.
I've not been to Metro for about 2 years now, mate. Just since lockdown. Obviously, I was born and raised in Metro, weren't I? That's the first time I think I see you was in Metro, and everyone was like, "Who's this junior?" Never forget.
It's a really cool gym. It's just like the kit is it's old and it's wicked, but it's like if something breaks, it's broken for like a year. It won't get fixed.
Yeah, and the other thing is it just? I mean, it's got that hardcore Metroflex feel, but it just got to the point where it just got a little bit too dirty and too broken. So you didn't know
that's
if
the
the
thing.
dumbbell was gonna.
It's like a fine line, isn't it? Where like obviously
Yeah.
you're old school, but then sometimes you might walk in and go like, it's actually a bit of a shithole.
That's what I found with the original Kings was like it was not too bad, like too dirty, but it wasn't like a leisure.
Clean.
It was
Yeah.
nice. It was like it was a bit dusty, but it was like all the kit was good. People were respectful. It was a sick gym. That was a wicked. That was like the
There's a
perfect.
different aura. The people in there was in there to train. That was, I think, the main difference. And everyone was there to kind of support each other, and there was friendly competition in there.
Yeah.
Where now, like you go through the door. I went in there earlier because it was just closer, and I don't know. Everyone just looks at you a bit funny. You know what I mean? For being a bodybuilder almost, and it's kind of like this was a bodybuilding gym. Like
I think, but that makes me like because you've seen it from where it's probably been its best. Now it is now, and you're thinking, oh, it's probably so annoying, isn't
it
it?
hurts. It absolutely hurts. Like
Because
yeah.
and I mean they moved it to a much better location.
Yeah.
Of like space, it's a lot bigger, But what they kind of did with it was they made it a lot more commercial when they opened a couple more branches, and
Yeah.
the management sort of changed, the rules kept changed, and it just went downhill. Like it just became a business rather than a gym.
The problem is as well is fair play. They've got some decent bit of kit in there, and they do get
Yeah.
like the Jim Leco bits. But I don't. People eat the upholstery. I don't understand. This is the kind of
Yeah.
people you're dealing with in Croydon. Like the Jim Leco stuff's fucked already, and it's all chewed up. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, how is this even possible? You know what I mean? It doesn't happen up north.
No,
No, mate, it doesn't. Like it doesn't. I can happily say that. Every gym I go
people
to,
are much more respectful up north. I'd say that much.
Yeah, the only problem is everyone wants to talk, don't they? That's the only
Yeah.
thing.
mate, that's the thing. They're so much nicer. Yeah, it's just like you go to the gym and I luckily train with loads of clients at my gym, and sometimes and they're like you train with like 6 or 7 or 8 clients, and sometimes and everyone's talking, and you go destination, people are seeing you and they're
Oh, it's
talking
mad.
to you. But
Everyone, yeah,
everyone, everyone's talking. Then you're thinking, and the next thing you know, you're thinking 15, 20 minutes gone by, and
yeah.
it's where you and then I'm that person that people are looking at going, how long is it going to be? I'm like, sorry.
For me, even it's just the atmosphere, though. Because even me and you, when we used to lock horns and have a chat, we would chat for half hour, 45 minutes about bodybuilding, wouldn't we? Like
Yeah.
during the session.
Mm. But
So
what's the plan now for Danny? Obviously, you're going to be reversing out for the next 6 weeks, probably going into like a health phase, maybe or whatnot. But in terms of like your short-term goal, mate, and your long-term goal, what have you got sort of like scoped out for the next rest of the year or the next sort of 18 months?
shock value. I want to keep bringing that shock value, mate. I honestly think at the weekend, no one expected to see what they see. So I want to bring an even better package next time. Um, the world is Amsterdam PCA. That's definitely potentially on the cards.
I was going to
Uh,
ask about that because Kai's doing that as well in 25 weeks, I think it is.
yeah,
So
he says he's doing it, but when he sees me a couple of weeks before that show, no, I'm joking. But
A rematch. We've got a rematch, mate.
I'm sure it'll be even better, mate. You know what I mean? But I think a lot of people are doing that one, PCA Pros, because it's only in Amsterdam as well. You got China in December,
prize money as well there, mate.
big prize money.
Big prize money.
So I might see what's going on with that. But I have got to duck into a couple of two bros.
I would love to see you do it. I was going to mention the two bros, but I'd love to see you at two bros.
Everyone's saying two bros, two bros, two bros. Now,
you'd be surprised, mate. You would really be surprised, genuinely.
Yeah,
I think so. I think with the look now, it's just where my weight lands. I think if I do get under that squeeze under 102, I think that's going to be a bit of a scare factor, a shock factor.
Yeah, for sure. That would be, yeah, that'd be really good to see.
I think aesthetically, I bring something different. That's for sure.
yeah.
I've been to a couple of two-row shows this year, mate, and I'm thinking, compared to what obviously that's at the start of the year. Obviously, I know a lot of people prep towards the back end of the year and everything, but
Yeah,
I think with what you brought this time round to the universe, mate, I think it would definitely be competitive within that two-row setting for sure.
yeah. Well, we took down a couple of two bros lads, didn't we? Which I was happy about. So, yeah, because everyone kind of put their name in the hat for that universe.
Yeah, because in your class you had Tofton as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you had obviously the Butcher third. I don't know butcher his name, but he's called the Butcher there on the podcast.
The Butcher, Lee, yeah.
I don't know who came second, but
Lee Buchanan.
yeah, but the top
Yeah,
four.
the kid that came second won the overall. About right at the beginning of the season, his respective class.
But
I can't even remember Saturday now, mate. I know I had who did I have in on Saturday? I had Matthew.
yeah,
Also works.
Yeah.
Some kid from Scotland that apparently won 12 overalls but didn't show up in regards to physique. And he bottled it for Sunday. He just didn't turn back up. I think he'd done a UK BFF show instead. So I think
I know who you mean. I know who you mean. Chris Spain.
yeah.
Chris, yeah, I've seen it. I saw him at a couple of shows. He's really good. Just
Decent when he comes in, he just didn't land it, did he? Let's be honest.
But his prep's been quite long, mate, to be honest. But he's just
he's probably drained. I just think it's a shame we should have done that Sunday show rather than well, we won't slag the UK BFF off, but it's Dinosaur Federation, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I just thought, but you were already there. Like you just might as well.
Yeah, he was there. He had his Airbnb, but quite a few people dropped out, mate. They didn't bother come back.
Yeah, see, I don't know.
Yeah,
I think even if I came like fourth or fifth, I'd have been like, you know what? It's going against better people, more experience in the federation. And again, at the end of the day, the goal might be a PCA pro, so I'm getting more stage time in front of the judges that are going to judge me in a few years' time. And like with Kaya, you get that sort of wow factor where
Yeah,
God, look how much progress he's made over this period of time. So
And the thing is, anything can happen in 24 hours.
exactly,
Anyone's beatable on that stage. Like
exactly,
it's bodybuilding at the end of the day. It's opinion. You know what I mean? So
it's true. It is true. So obviously, doing might be doing the Worlds, might be doing China in December. Just we're just going to see. I think you're just going to sell it. If it's there, it's there. If it's not, just keep
yeah,
going.
that's it, mate. That's it. As long as I'm better, I'll be up there.
Yeah, chilling. Well, mate, I've answered. I've
Yeah.
answered any question that I have, mate. We appreciate you coming on. As
I
always,
appreciate you guys. What you're doing is great as well. Obviously, it's great to have a platform to be able to see the results and everything. I'm a big fan, as you're aware.
mate. Thank you so much. But this is the reason
And
why I
it's
wanted
good
to
to
do this,
have
mate.
two people coming through the ranks as well that obviously are great ambassadors for the sport. So respect to you both.
Thank you,
Top my
brother.
man. It means a lot from yourself, mate. It does. It really, really does. But guys, that's episode 27 wrapped up again. Thank you, Dan. Do you want to actually say your socials, mate, so people can actually follow you?
Yeah, Big Danny Redemption's me Insta. Obviously, my coaching's Redemption coaching.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go check me out. Tag me up in the bottom of the
Yeah.
link or whatever. But yeah, you
And if
know
you
where I'm
can't,
at.
yeah, if you can't find him on Instagram, go on PCA, and he'll be literally in the first three lines
Blasted.
with a sword. So you'll be absolutely sound. But so, guys, thank you for listening. Like, subscribe, comment on Spotify. Give us a nice little 5-star, and as always, tag us in the stories as well. Tag Danny as well, and we'll see you in the next one.